everyone, welcome back. It's Mike Marchani again with Mancuso Show Management. I'm here with another double vendor feature for you. Starting off, we're going to show a presentation from A Different Touch, which is a sewing machine shop based out of Virginia. They're the usual Bernina sponsor for the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival, so we're really happy to have them join us. And after that, we're going to cut to an interview I did with Joanne of Artisan Space. But before we get into those, I have a quick commercial break, and then enjoy the show.
Welcome to A Different Touch, your local Bernina dealer in Chesapeake, Virginia. A Different Touch will be the authorized Bernina dealer servicing Bernina sewing equipment and accessories at the online Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival, February the 24th through the 27th. We're all here to answer your questions and to help you with all your sewing needs. Visit our website daily for all updates and all show specials. Thank you.
Now, let's work a little bit with the angles that are marked on this ruler. So again, white markings for dark fabric, black markings for light fabric, and it gives the angle degree right beside it. Of a little triangle here, and we're going to quilt out some little rays, and because it's a light fabric, let's use the 22.5 degree angle. So we take the ruler, I'm in the corner, I'm in the ditch. I'm going to lay the black line of 22.5 right on the previously sewn line, which is in this instance the ditch. And I'm going to stitch out. We'll see how this looks. All right. This time I'm going to go back. Don't move the ruler. I go back to my starting point. I turn this just a little bit. Put the black line, 22.5 degrees, right on there. I can make it any length I want. Pivot. Oop. Now let me caution, you just saw that. Ruler almost went under the foot. Definite no-no. Good way to damage your machine and break your foot. So now my foot is down. I'm back on that angle mark. I guess we can break that. So here we have a triangle with the little rays, each at 22.5 degrees apart. And could I do this with traditional free motion quilting? I certainly could, but I promise you they wouldn't be as straight and they would not be spaced as regularly. So we've quilted with rulers for a while and our hands are now warmed up. It's time to move on to more traditional free motion quilting. Bernina has a variety of feet that are suitable for free motion quilting, but I want to show you the Bernina foot number 73. This has a large open toe, and by large I mean extra large for greatly improved visibility. And quilters, that really is the name of the game. You need to be able to see. Like the Bernina number 72 foot, it also has the dial that will raise it or lower it to accommodate the quilt batting. With this foot, when you put it on the machine, which I will demonstrate in a minute, you want to dial it all the way down and then dial it up just enough until you've established that you can move your quilt freely. Let's move to the machine and change a foot. I want to demonstrate for you how to change a foot on a Bernina. We have a lever right on the side here. You raise the lever, it releases the foot. You take your next foot, slide it right up on that little cone, close that lever. I've put the number 73 foot on. I'm going to go to the dial, I'm going to go to the display, and change the foot number. I had foot number 72 on, but now I've changed it to foot number 73, so I want to let my machine know. Push the foot icon, search 73, push number 73, changes right on the display. So now my machine knows I'm using foot number 73. I've changed the foot to the Bernina number 73 because I want to do traditional free motion quilting and have good visibility. Here's the gold dial, which I've used to adjust the height of the presser foot. I want to have the presser foot high enough that I can move the quilt sandwich freely, but not so high that I don't have good contact with the foot and the sandwich itself. Drop the foot, hands free. Going to drop the needle, hands free. Raise the needle, pull the thread up. It's a little bit easier to pull the thread up because you have that big open toe. I'm going to drop the needle. Now, many people get frustrated with traditional free motion quilting because they want to jump right in on the fancy designs. What beginners don't realize is that free motion quilting is really just a series of very simple designs that are repeated over and over again to give a beautiful effect. I advise all my students to master 1 or 2 free motion quilting designs and use them to their utmost. You'll actually be surprised at what you can do with very, very little in the design category. The first thing I'm going to demonstrate is the wave. So I've drawn a line in the middle of this 2-inch border. Just to give me a little reference point. Doesn't have to be perfect. I doubt seriously that anyone is going to use dark thread on a quilt made totally out of muslin. So all your mistakes will not show. So the wave is a very simple design that you can use effectively in a narrow border. You could echo it several times and do it in a wider border, and everyone would think you are absolutely fabulous. All right, I'm going to switch to another one. And we're going to move down. Now, one of the principles of free motion quilting is that you need to be able to quilt in any direction. With free motion quilting, you want to avoid moving. With traditional free motion quilting, you want to avoid twisting and turning your quilt. We're quilting it, we're not driving it through the sewing machine. So you need to be able to go from left to right, from right to left. You need to be able to start in each corner and go in every direction. Your body will naturally want to go in one direction, and you will have to struggle to learn to go in opposite directions. So this first line I quilted right to left, or left to right. Now I'm going to be going right to left, and we'll see how that goes today. All right, let's see, what do we got here? Loops. All right, we're going to be doing loops. I pause, move my hands. Again, I pause. Now, I deliberately made these of varying sizes. One short, one a little taller, one a little taller, and you see as I worked along, it seemed to work better for me today to do a shorter one, a taller one, a shorter one, a taller one. They could all be the same height. I would suggest when you first start to do these, not to try to cover a 2-inch space, but maybe a 1.5-inch space. You want to have a little confine in which to quilt, but you don't want to make it so big that it does become frustrating. The other thing you can do is you can periodically draw some straight lines to help you keep your loop straight. I wouldn't put a straight line everywhere I wanted a loop, because then your eye is going to want to quilt to that line, and that it was just not going to work out because your width is going to vary a little bit. Now I'm going to show you again some stars, and I just love stars. So we talked a little bit about triangles with rulers, and you can make great triangles with straight lines with rulers, but you can also make some pretty good triangles that you can turn into stars with traditional free motion quilting. Just have to forgive yourself a little bit, because your lines are not going to be perfectly straight. But these are going to be primitive stars, so nobody really cares. So we're going to start by making a series of triangles. They can be any size. In fact, I like to vary them a little bit because I think it gives it kind of a primitive look. So there's a shorter one. He's not perfectly straight because I didn't make him with a ruler. But seriously, who cares? So we've gone from left to right. Now we're going to go back without breaking thread. Could you do it by breaking thread and going back to the left? You sure could, but do yourself a favor and try not to break thread every time you complete a row. Now, the way to get the rest of the star on is to think of one of those big paper clips, the big triangular shaped paper clips, and you'll have your star. So we go back, we come across, we go down. You make that big paper clip. Across, I'm going to go up a little more. These are primitive. I'm going to change the sky just a little bit. These are a little wonky. This guy's a little fat. there's our line of stars. Now let's talk about petals or orange peels. I learned to do orange peels first by traditional free motion quilting, and I really struggled. Then I did a series of orange peels with the circular rulers, and that's when I really learned how to do one. I'm going to show you how to do it free motion. So now your hands are warmed up, you've made a few stars, you've made a few waves, you're feeling a little more confident, maybe a lot more confident. You want to draw a grid in your border. This is a 2-inch border, and this grid is 2 inches. These lines are 2 inches apart. I would not start with something that large. I would start with something about 1 inch. But what we're going to do, and by now you should be confident enough to do this, we're going to make a gentle curve from one corner to the next. I'm just going to hit that spot. Is it perfect? No, and it doesn't need to be, because we're making little petals, and petals are not going to be completely 100% curved. So corner, just a little curve. You can see on this last one my eye was a little better because I'm a little more confident even after 3 squares. Now we're going to return. And return. This one's going to be a little flat. Doesn't really matter. Missed it. That's okay. Then I'm going to show you one more thing. This is a border, 2-inch wide border, and I marked it and then sewed it with rulers to give my straight edge. This shows you how to take a wide border and make it smaller so that maybe you can't quilt something that's 2 inches wide, but maybe you can quilt something that's a 1/2 inch wide. So here we have a 1/2 inch in the center, and I'm just going to take that wave So here's my motto. You can't quilt a 2.5 inch wide border because of your confidence level, but you can use your rulers, put some straight lines in, and quilt a 1/2 inch area with something you feel confident in. It could be the wave, it could be the loops. Your choice. You just have to have enough confidence in yourself.
Hey, what an excellent video from the folks at A Different Touch. We want to thank them again for being a sponsor for our show. You can shop all of the Bernina domestic machines by clicking the link above and checking out the vendor mall. Be sure to shop for their products and support the rest of our vendors as well. Coming up next, I sat down with Joanne of Artisan Space, and we had a nice conversation about all the great products she has to offer you, the folks at home. You'll be able to shop for her products as well in the vendor mall. But without further ado, here's my interview with Joanne of Artisan Space. Hey everyone, it's Mike Marshaney with Mancuso Show Management. I'm joined today with Joanne from Artisan Space. Where are you coming from today, Joanne?
Michael, I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, very nice. How's the weather today?
Weather's pretty good. Very easy and mild, and it's sunny, but I don't want to rub it into everybody else around the country.
Oh, it's very, very considerate of you. So obviously this is Artisan Space's first time joining us at Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival. You are an online retail store?
Yes, we are.
Okay, very nice. I understand you work with a lot of different artists.
Yes. We've worked with different artisans over the years that range from knitters and crocheters to sewers and quilters, designers, clothing designers, all different kinds of stitching, including hand stitching and machine stitching.
Oh, very nice. Can you tell us a little bit more about your products?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. Some of the main products that we all love to use, and I take a lot of input from the artisans that I work with because they're using these products constantly. The daylight lamps that range from lighting and magnification, and the reliable irons and steamers that are for home use and professional use. And we've gone through and curated just selected products from each of these lines. The Aurifil threads for hand stitching and machine stitching, and we have them in several different weights. And then a lot of different notions that you can find on our site as well. These are the main products that I want to share with all of you at Mancuso.
Oh, good. Well, we're happy to have your products at the show. And of course, you can shop all of Artisan Space's products at the virtual vendor mall. So I see that you have a couple of daylight lamps there. I know they're a very popular item at our shows. What do you like about daylight lamps?
Michael, what I really love about daylight are a few of the main reasons that I use them is they're ergonomic, they're easy to use and position where you need. They're not difficult to move around. They're not heavy and clunky. The lighting we all know is fantastic. We know how important lighting is, not just when we're crafting, when we're working, when we're around our homes, workspace, computers, anything we're doing, regardless of the light we have indoors, we always need better lighting on our surface. The daylight lamps have all LEDs, so you're never going to have to replace a bulb. You're not going to have to think about that. And they last for 20 to 25 years. That's a long time to get use. Isn't that a long time to have a piece of lighting in your home and your workspace? They also run on low wattage, so you're not using a lot more energy or draining your utilities at home or at work. So let me show you specifically. One of my favorite products from them is the Slimline lamp. I use it all the time. The Slimline that you can see here, I have lit up in my space. This is the same lamp. One's a table lamp and one's a floor lamp. The only difference is that one has an extra pole with a base that goes to the floor. When I told you that they're ergonomic and easy to use, I'm not exaggerating. These are so flexible. This Slimline lamp has a double gooseneck feature. Lamps that we used to see years ago, we'd have to change the angle. We'd have to take out pieces and screws and you'd need tools, and they were heavy and clunky. Most of us, when we're crafting and working, we all want something that's easier, not heavier and harder to reposition. This double gooseneck feature lets you pull the lamp down wherever you need to stretch it out. You see that? And then once it's there, it stays in place. You can take it back very easily. You can move it where you need. When you're working on something that you want the maximum amount of lighting, you can angle it down and it will give out, these lamps, these Slimlines, give out over 10 feet of radiant light. That's tremendous. The other fabulous feature about them is they're not hot. You can put your hands on the bulb and it's warm to the touch. There's no radiating heat coming out from here. When I'm working and crafting, I don't want to be sweating under my lamp. This is comfortable. You're not going to have any distortion or coloration or fluorescing. You're not going to have it hurting your eyes. In fact, the research that Daylight's done with the engineering and the technology in their lamps shows that it helps reduce the eye strain that we will have if we're not using proper lighting. You also have the great ergonomic features of moving the tube and angling it where you need. It rotates. It has a very easy, all of these products have a very easy light touch, just like touching an iPhone or an iPad. It's not a clunky switch. It's not something on the floor you have to step on. They've continued to improve the technology and the features of them. So it's a light touch right here that I'll show you today. I have it on the highest because I like the brightest lighting. As I touch it and take it down, you're going to see it goes through four different levels of lighting. That's off. What a difference when it's off. And look at that when it's on.
Wow. Oh.
They plug into a regular outlet. So simple and easy to use. The table comes with its own C-clamp. So if you want to have it on a crafting table, a dining room table, even a card table, it's a very easy C-clamp to use. Again, no extra tools needed. Everything you need comes with the lamps. And the floor lamp, we like using around the house. We move it around wherever we need because you still have that same flexibility to take it down when you need it or to take it up. You can also have it go completely vertical and use it for ambient lighting in the corner of a room. It's a fantastic, I mean, the daylight lamps really have this, I can't say it enough, a lightweight, ergonomic, easy to use lamp. And the lighting really is fantastic. I also love, pardon?
It's great for Zoom presentations too.
Absolutely. That's such a great point. Thank you, Michael. We've been using these for Zoom calls because we're all doing a lot more of this online. You want to light up your area, but not have something glaring in your face, and lighting up the area that you're working around and that you're presenting with. The daylight lamps are fantastic for all of your online and Zoom calls. The Slimline really is one of my favorite go-tos. I use it all the time, and I have my family using it too. They're doing school at home, working from home. These are fantastic. And again, they're easy to move around. They're not heavy and clunky, and you're getting the maximum amount of luminosity and lighting without any heat or any fluorescing. And it's going to help reduce any eye strain because we're all looking at screens a lot more. We want to be able to keep doing all these great crafts that we love doing, hobbies, puzzles with the family, whatever you're doing, all the things that you want to have good lighting for, you really want a good product like a daylight lamp.
No, very nice. I understand that you just showed the Aurifil cotton thread that you're selling in the vendor mall as well.
Absolutely, I did, Michael. Thank you. The Aurifil thread is one of my favorites because over the years we've all used different kinds of threads for hand sewing and for machine sewing. The Aurifil is a long staple Egyptian cotton, so it's a smooth, strong thread. It's going to glide through your fabric. It's going to glide through piecing and batting. It's also going to not leave any residue in a sewing machine like other threads might that are not as strong and smooth. So you're using a higher quality thread that you're really going to appreciate the difference. And at Artisan Space, I have several different weights of the Aurifil available, including the 12 weight that we use for a lot of hand stitching, big quilting, big stitching, long stitching, sashiko and boro, and embroidery floss. And then the 50 weight is our go-to. Most of us use 50 weight in our sewing machines. We have a wide range of colors in the 50 weight, including not just shades in different colors, but some of your great go-to neutrals that are so wonderful to have on hand. Again, remember, the Aurifil thread is not just smooth and strong. It's not going to snag through your material. It's not going to pull up any batting, and it's going to help keep your machine cleaner so that you can work longer and have a better time with your threads and your sewing projects. And we have the floss from them as well. It's a 6-ply cotton floss that you can separate, and you can decide how many plies of it you want to use when you're doing hand embroidery or hand quilting, any kind of hand sewing. You get to decide how thick you want it with the 6-ply cotton floss.
Very cool. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the sashikos that our two instructors, the Shiba guys, are teaching us sashiko for our Mid-Atlantic workshop.
I'm so glad you brought that up. The Shiba guys and Artisan Space work very closely together. They're some of the artisans that have helped me find some of the fabulous products that I offer at Artisan Space. And this is one of their curated kits of the 12 weight thread that is so common and so great to use for sashiko. In this, you have 6 spools, full large spools of the 12 weight thread in a curated collection that they've designed themselves. So when we were talking before about working with artisans and what that means, I love working with professional artisans that have the creativity and the talent to help me find some of the better products to help offer all of my customers.
Oh,
Another great kit that we have that they've curated with Aurifil directly are 10, this is called the Mighty 10. And the Sheba guys designed this with 10 mini spools of the 50 weight thread. So if someone wants to start trying to use the 50 weight from Aurifil and haven't decided if they want to do a large spool, they could play with 10 different colors that were specifically curated to give a nice balance in the palette with neutrals and stronger colors.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, we're really happy to have you and the Sheba guys as part of our festival, even over through Zoom and virtually. I understand that quilters can save a lot of money with Artisan Space during the show.
Yes, during the show, for all of the attendees, we're offering a special code on everything that I've showed you today, including the items that are also on our website. And that code is MAQF20. And that will give 20% off across the site during the show for the attendees.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, they're really generous of you to offer that discount. And we encourage everyone to go to the virtual vendor mall to check out all of Artisan Space's excellent products. Joanne, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Michael, thank you. I've really enjoyed having this time together, and we're really looking forward to being part of the show. Thank you so much.
Of course. And we look forward to seeing more of your work in the future. We're going to cut back to the presenter to check out another presentation. Hey, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed this double feature that we just showed everyone. We want to thank Artisan Space and A Different Touch for their excellent demonstrations. Coming up next at 3:45 is Diana with a studio tour with Lyric Montgomery Kennard. I'll be back here again at 5 o'clock for another vendor double feature. Be sure to click on the link above to check out the vendor mall. We also have a suggested admission page, which you can click on the link above as well. We appreciate your support of the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival. Stay tuned and enjoy the show.